Athletes, welcome back. We've got another great day of fitness. We got David and Kevin back in the studio and they are ready to work out with you. We got some renegade rows, we got step jacks because Kevin's here, we've got running, and we've also got some sit-ups coming your way. So get ready, your warm-up is up next. Athletes, the warm-up is here. We got 10 seconds on the clock. We are starting out with heel toe rocks, so get some space. You're gonna be going up into some calf raises in 3, 2, 1, go for it. We're up on our toes and back on our heels. We have 10 reps here. We're just getting your ankles warmed up for those step jacks that are coming your way and that running, if that is your version of the workout. After we get done with our 10 here, we are gonna get down on the floor and we are going into alternating V-ups. So with our alternating V-ups, we'll be on our back. We're gonna go 5 each side. It's gonna be opposite hand, opposite foot. You're gonna count, there we go. David had to remember his opposites for just a second. We got 5 on each side, so every time you touch that opposite hand to your opposite foot, that's a rep. You've got 5 each side or 10 total. After we finish our 5 on each side, we are going into 5 plank shoulder taps on each side. So Kevin's gonna plank on his knees, David is gonna plank on his toes, and from here, what they're gonna do is they're gonna take opposite hand, opposite shoulder. You got 5 on each side here. We're getting ready for those renegade rows that we have coming your way. And then after that, we are going to stand up and go into a bent over row and reach. So what that is gonna look like is we're gonna load our hamstrings, load our posterior chain. You're gonna reach as far as you can like you're hugging a telephone pole, and then you're gonna pull back and act like you're doing a bent over row, but we don't have any weight here. We've got 10 total. And the purpose of this is to reach your end range of motion on that reach portion and that row portion. So we're thinking about protracting and retracting our scaps. After we get done with our 10 reps here, David's gonna make his way to the runner. Kevin is gonna make his way to his step jack space, and you guys are gonna go ahead and give me 20 seconds of step jacks or walking / running. While Kevin figures out what he's doing during this warm-up, we will talk about our running distance. You guys have a 400-meter run for today. So your 400-meter run is gonna be a minute out and a minute back. If you guys don't have your distances marked, we'll measure it by time, and that's based off an 8-minute mile. So if you run out for a minute, you're gonna mark that distance and then come back. I'm gonna have you guys rest, and now we are going back into our alternating V-ups. So back on our back, and it's opposite hand to opposite foot. You got 5 on each side. After we get done with these, we are going to go back into our plank shoulder taps. Again, Kevin is going to be doing his planks or his renegade rows today on his knees. We've got David doing the full plank position, and we're going to go over those renegade rows in just a moment after we get done with this plank shoulder tap. So Kevin's back to his knees, David's back to his toes. We're in that nice solid plank position, keeping our core engaged, keeping our glutes slightly engaged. And we're gonna touch that opposite hand, opposite shoulder. We got 10 reps total here. And then after that, we are going into our renegade rows. So athletes are gonna stay in the same position. I've got Kevin on his knees, I've got David on his toes, and from here, they are gonna think about reaching and pulling back with that arm. Now our athletes today in the workout are gonna use dumbbells today. You guys are welcome to do that at home. If you wanna keep it at body weight just like this, that is fine as well. Prescribed for today is gonna be body weight. We're just giving you some options if you feel like that body weight option is a little too easy for you. If it feels like it's the right difficulty for you, we want you to stay there. That is it for the warm-up. The workout is coming your way. Kevin is gonna practice step jacks during this transition because we are gonna get them right, and we can't wait. Workout is up next. Athletes, your workout is here. We've got 10 seconds on the clock. Go ahead and make your way to your step jack space or where you were doing your run. We are starting in 3, 2, 1, go! We've got 3 rounds for today's workout. There is no rest, so your stimulus is gonna be a moderate pace that you can maintain over all 3 of these rounds. I don't want you guys starting out too hot. Don't try to keep up with Kevin on your step jacks. I need you guys to pick the intensity that works for you because I need to see the same intensity on our 2nd and 3rd round. We've got Kevin going through 80 step jacks, and then we've got David going on a 400-meter run. Again, with our running distances, if you guys do not have a running track marked out, but you do have space to run, we are looking at going a minute out and then a minute back in. That will average an 8-minute mile for you. And if your mile time is a little bit different, then we can change those times if we like, but I really don't want you running longer than that 2-minute period. After we get done with this, both of our athletes are gonna be moving into their sit-ups. We've got Kevin doing quarter sit-ups. We've got David doing full sit-ups, and we'll take a look at those when they get down to the floor. And then finally, we have our Renegade rows. Now, the Renegade rows, as prescribed today, are going to be body weight only. Kevin is killing these step jacks. And if you want to challenge yourself just a little bit, you can add dumbbells like our athletes will be doing today. So again, Kevin has 80 total. We got David on his 400-meter run. And again, our intensity here is something, if you give me a percentage, I'm looking at like 65, 70%. It's enough that if I ask you a question, you can answer me. Kevin, how are we doing today?
Great.
We're doing great. Now, if I ask you that same question and you have to take a breath between every single word that you say, then we know that you're going a little bit too hard, so I want you to back it off slightly. We got Kevin and David moving into their movements here. Now, what I'm gonna be looking for Kevin on our quarter sit-ups is that I'm gonna have him lay all the way back, and then he's gonna go to where he touches fingertips to his knees. For Kevin, he's making this a little bit more difficult for himself, so he's going a little beyond knees. But it's very important when we do these quarter sit-ups that we don't stress our neck flexors by keeping that head permanently forward. So I'm gonna have Kevin go all the way back down to the floor at the bottom and then up, just like that. I've got David over here doing full sit-ups, and with these full sit-ups, he's touching the ground behind his head. He's throwing his arms to assist him in sitting up and making that a little bit more efficient. We need to make sure that our shoulder is beyond our hip crease when we sit up all the way. I'm gonna make it a little bit more difficult on David because this is our workout for June, right? This is it. It's our 5 that we got. So what we're gonna do here is that when we sit up, I'm gonna have him take his arms out of the movement. So he's gonna cross them across his chest. Is that a little bit harder? Well, now we can go back to arms. So you guys have options here. We can take it up a level if we want to and increase the difficulty if we like. We got Kevin moving on to our Renegade rows, getting those knee sleeves adjusted so that we can perform 100%. Now in this position, the Renegade row again, we did this without any weight in the warm-up. Kevin is choosing to use dumbbells, David is as well. We want to make sure we are keeping ourselves in a plank position. I'm gonna pause Kevin for just a second. Kevin, move back to where you're more on your knees, so like in that quadruped position. We're not looking for this position, but if you need to modify it to this, then you can, and that's keeping those dumbbells right below you. I'm gonna have Kevin move back into his plank position on his knees, and we should feel that core engaged throughout. So you guys have options here as well. On our Renegade rows, we have 20 total, so that's gonna be 10 on each side. We've got David in a nice plank position. He's got his legs wider to stabilize him. That's what you guys wanna do here because you will feel yourself when you go to shift and pull that arm up or pull that dumbbell up, you're gonna fall over. So we wanna make sure we have a nice wide base to stabilize ourselves. We got Kevin back onto our step jacks. With those step jacks, we are making sure that our entire body weight is shifting to between our legs. I don't want you guys to kick that leg out. Again, Kevin's dance class is coming in the fall. We're not doing the Mayhem Kevin Zumba hybrid. We got that step jack out to the side and the clap overhead. So always think when that foot touches, we clap overhead. We got David back. That was a great clap. We got David back on his run over here. None of that, I saw that. I'm gonna know right for that if I see it again. We've got Kevin has fallen off the rails once again. We're gonna take that, the foot does not move, and I'm not letting him throw me off. He always tries to do this. We need those step jacks, and again, you can stay in time with Kevin, but the form that I wanna see is stepping out and then bringing your feet always back to center. And Kevin is gonna break off into his own spontaneous dance mix in just a second, but we got David back on the runner. So David is going through his 400-meter run, unfazed by Kevin at all. So after we get done with this, we are moving back into our sit-ups, and Kevin is on it. Welcome back, Kevin. So as we get done with our step jacks and our running, we are gonna go back into those sit-ups. Now again, the thing I'm gonna challenge Kevin with is that I wanna make sure we get to full range of motion all the way back. I don't want you guys to stay in that semi-flex position on those sit-ups. So Kevin's gonna go all the way down to the floor, And we're gonna make sure that with our head, we are keeping that in a neutral position. So I'm gonna ask Kevin to let his head go back a little bit at the bottom of the rep, just like that, and then we'll do our sit-up. Again, we can use different landmarks for our quarter sit-up on our body to figure out our range of motion. So for Kevin, we're going right past knees. If you guys wanna get fingertips to your knees, you can do that. If it's only fingertips to your mid-thigh, that is fine as well. You are gonna pick the range of motion that works for you and something that's gonna be challenging but doable throughout all 3 sets of this workout. We got David back on his sit-ups, and he's not making eye contact with Kevin at all because he knows if he does, he's gonna lose it as well. We got David using those arms. Now the thing with our sit-ups and our ab mat is there to get us into that full range of motion position. So a lot of times we can tend to stay in a little bit of a flex position in the bottom. And this is gonna be like a beginner's version of what a GHD would do for you. If you guys don't have an ab mat, we can take a towel, roll it up and put it underneath the small of our back, and that'll serve the same purpose. When we're going back, David is touching the ground behind his head, and then he's throwing his arms to sit up. That is allowed. It is a legal movement. It will count as good reps. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, we can take those hands and cross them over our chest, or we can put them next to our ears. And David's already throwing down here without me asking. So, and then he's back to the arm throw. Yeah, back at it. So now we got Kevin back into our renegade row, and we are keeping that strong plank position. So again, when we go through this, I wanna feel abs and glutes turn on about 20 to 30%. I don't want you guys to banana out and overextend through our low back, because we wanna make sure that we're doing this movement correctly and safely. We're pulling back with that dumbbell, and we're making sure that we're pulling with our elbow and not our hand. So if Kevin gives me any T-Rex arms, we're gonna redo those reps. We got David back onto his dumbbells going into our renegade row. Again, the wide legs for David so that he can shift his body weight. It's more difficult when we're on our toes versus our knees, because now we've lengthened our body, or our working range of or working length that we have. And you can see how his body weight is shifting side to side, and that wide foot stance is gonna be very helpful in keeping him stabilized. We got Kevin back onto his step jacks. I'm cautiously optimistic because these are actual step jacks. Now they're not. We got David finishing up on his renegade rows, and we're going back to our run. And then Kevin is doing step jacks once again. I'm liking what I'm seeing. This is perfect. And I think he could have done this the whole time, but he's been messing with me for a period of like 5 to 6 weeks. But these are step jacks. And step jacks are no joke, because if you guys haven't done these, you're doing the run. If you want to throw step jacks in, throw that in on one of these sets or one of these rounds, and then I want you to tell me how difficult those are. We love having you guys in these workouts, and we will encourage you, if you guys are doing the workout with us, throw your time in the comments below, because we want to get a little bit of competitiveness here. So whether your time, you feel like you did really, really well, or you feel like you could have gone a little bit faster, still throw the scores in, because we like to be here for accountability. We want to encourage you guys, and we love having you show up every day. So if you got comments for Kevin or for David, if you've got a preferred athlete, give them some love. But we're going back into our step jacks and our running. David is staying nice and calm, making sure that we're keeping those shoulders relaxed. We're focused on those recovery breaths as we're going through here. I think Kevin is on his 200 step jack of this round. After we get done with this, we're going back into our sit-ups. And Kevin is feeling it. Kevin, how we doing? Ooh, shoulders. I know you guys are feeling the same thing at home right now. We're working through our last round on this workout, and then we will be done for the day. So this workout is gonna be a quicker one. We're making sure that, again, I need you to be matching the intensity that we established in round number 1 for this last and final round. We are hitting the 10-minute mark here. And I'm gonna guess our athletes are gonna finish. I'm gonna predict we got a 12-minute finish time here. So we're gonna see how this goes. I have confidence. David hates that I said that, because now he knows that he's gonna have to move a little bit faster. We got Kevin going into his last round of our quarter sit-ups. And again, we wanna make sure that if we are keeping our neck in this position where it's permanently flexed, you will wake up with sore neck flexors in the morning. So I want you to think about keeping that head neutral, and think about that sit-up position happening from your torso, not being led with your head or with your neck. We got David making his way back to our sit-ups, and both athletes have 30 reps here. After we're done with this, we are moving into our last set of our Renegade rows, and with it being our last round, I'm gonna have both athletes pick this intensity up just a little bit for me. I've got Kevin moving, there we go, it's a little bit faster. We got David starting to put the speed on this. I like what I'm seeing with our ab mat sit-ups. He's now staring down Kevin. He's going to hit, David's definitely gonna hit the 12-minute mark. I know what's gonna happen. The fact that I've said it, David, you got 12 minutes on this? A maybe, a very confident maybe though. We're going there. We got Kevin finishing up his quarter sit-ups. He's now moved to palms to knees. And now we are on to our Renegade rows. You got 30 seconds, Kevin. We got to get into these and we got to move them quick. We got 20 reps in our last and final round here. Again, this is 10 on each side. We got David finishing up his sit-ups, and then he will be on to his Renegade rows. Make sure that when you guys are going through your Renegade rows, you're breathing out every time that you pull. And we got David on his Renegade rows. He's got 10 seconds to get 20 reps. And here we go. And we are flying through these. This is the intensity that I need from everyone in this last and final round. Kevin, pull with those elbows. Don't bring those hands up to your shoulders. And Kevin is done. And that is it. Adjust the knee sleeve and then into his confidence pose of kneeling and encouraging David in the last portion of this workout. And David is done, and that is it, and we are done. If you guys are still working at home, we want you to finish all the way through. We got fist bumps in the studio. We want you guys, you got your fist bump back at home. If you guys are still working, please finish up. If you were done, a great job. We got your cool down coming up next, so make sure that you stick around. Athletes, fantastic job once again. You guys delivered the fitness. We brought you the workout and you showed up as always. Now, if you like free stuff, I've got a secret for you. We've got a 7-day free trial to Mayhem Athlete that if you're not a part of the Mayhem Athlete community, you can join today and find tons of workouts like the one we did today, or tons that are unlike this. Whether your goals are bodybuilding, functional fitness, working out at home, working out on the road, getting your fitness in any place that you possibly can in a short amount of time or a longer amount of time, depending on that availability for that day, we've got your back. The Mayhem Athlete community is a group of like-minded athletes, and if you work out, you are an athlete as well, that will encourage you along your way to being a better, fitter version of yourself each day or making it all the way to the competition floor. So if you're not a part of the Mayhem Athlete community, please join us today. Now, it's the serious time. Your cooldown's listed here somewhere over David's face. So please make sure that you take care of your body because it just took care of you, and spend a couple extra minutes getting those tweaks, stretching those muscles out so that you can come back for another workout. As always, be good, be kind, and join us again for another great day of fitness.